Hello everyone and welcome to my craft room. I'm Leo from inkymemories.co.uk, an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in South Wales, and today on this simple Saturday stamping video we're going to be using this really cute Christmas Means More stamp set to make some very simple Christmas cards. And as this is a simple Saturday project, I do have all of my pieces pre-cut and ready to go. So this is what we're using today. I have a card base in crumb cake. This is half a sheet of A4, so this is 14.85 centimetres by 21, and I've scored this down the middle at 10.5. I also have one Whisper White envelope. I have a mat for the inside of the card, and this is 13.35 centimetres by 9. I have a mat for the front of the card, and this is 8 centimetres by 7. And then I have some strips of designer series paper, and this is the Heartwarming Hugs DSP, and I shall show you some of the designs of that in a second, but these strips all measure 10.5 centimetres by 2 centimetres. So the DSP that I'm using today, like I said, is the Heartwarming Hugs, and as of the time of filming this, this is currently on offer in the designer series paper sale, so it is currently 15% off. So you get 12 sheets in this. You've got 6 different double-sided designs and you get 2 full sheets of each. So these are the designs that you get in this particular stack. They're really lovely. They're Christmassy colours, so lots of red and green, but there's no specific Christmas motifs on here. You know, so there's no presents or Christmas trees or reindeer or anything like that. It is just geometric patterns in red, green and white, so very usable. Like I say, you know, you can really use this for a lot of different projects. So let us get started on our card today. So the first thing I'm going to do is to fold my card base along the score line and just reinforce that score with my bone folder. And I'm going to do some stamping on the background of my card, and for this I'm using the 2 little stamps that come in the stamp set. So we're using the holly leaves and the little bell, and I'm just going to stamp these across the background of my card in crumb cake ink. So I'm going to start with the larger one, the bell. I find when I'm doing background stamping like this, it's easier to start with the larger of the shapes, and then you fill in any gaps that are left over with the smaller one. So I'm just stamping this all the way over the front, you know, off to the edges. Okay, I'm happy with that. And then, like I said, I'm going to fill in with the holly stamp. Making sure that I sort of rotate this so that they're not all laying in the same direction. Pop some off the edges as well. You're basically making your own designer series paper by doing this. There we go. Okay, I'm happy with that. So that's the first part of stamping. We're going to do a little bit of stamping on the inside mat as well while we have these stamps here. So I'm going to grab the bell first of all, and I'm just going to pop one bell down in the bottom right hand corner, and then a couple of holly leaves just up in the top left. And of course, if you have seen any of my previous videos, you know I always like to decorate my envelopes too, so I'm going to just mirror the same thing on the envelope as well. So just one of the little bells down in the bottom right, and then the 2 holly leaves up in the top left. Okay, so that's that initial stamping done. We're going to stamp our sentiment next, and I'm going to do this in Memento Black ink, and I have here my little sentiment piece. Now the sentiment that I've chosen is my absolute favourite from this, which is Maybe Christmas Perhaps Means a Little Bit More. Now who doesn't love The Grinch? It's such a great Christmas film, one that I watch every year. It's one of those things I like to put on a Sunday afternoon leading up to Christmas, where we're having just a nice quiet chill day at home, all curled up on the sofa, you know, a couple of nice blankets, maybe a nice mug of hot chocolate with some marshmallows on top. It's just one of those really nice films that just really makes it feel like Christmas for me when we sit down and watch that. And last year my niece came to a Christmas with us and we managed to introduce her to the Grinch as well. It was an awesome memory for us all. So I want to stamp my sentiment in the centre, side to side, but more towards the top of my piece of cardstock. So I'm just going to lean over and check that I have this nicely lined up and then stamp. And because this is quite a large stamp, just make sure that you do press all the way over the surface and then lift up. And what I'm going to do is to colour in my little holly leaves and berries with some stamping blends. So I've pulled out here Real Red and Old Olive, and I've picked out just the light versions of each of them. And I'm literally just going to add a little bit of colour onto the front of this by colouring in the berries and the leaves. And because we've stamped in Memento, the Memento ink isn't going to move when we put the alcohol ink over the top. Okay, I'm going to do the same on the inner mat as well. So again, because we've stamped in Crumb Cake water-based dye ink, we can colour with the alcohol blends and it's not going to move that outline. So just some very simple colouring with this. I'm not doing any great shading or blending today, just some nice simple colour. And then I'll do the berries on this as well. Now, if you want to colour in your envelope, absolutely do that. But what I would recommend that you do, if that's your choice, is to grab a piece of scrap Whisper White and just pop it inside the envelope under where you're going to do the colouring. Blends can sometimes come through, as you can see on the back of this piece of Whisper White here, and obviously you don't want it to go through on your envelope, so this way it won't go through both layers for you. So again, I'm just doing some very quick, simple colouring on these, just to add a little bit of colour. And who wouldn't want to receive a Christmas card in an envelope that's decorated too? I always love adding something to the envelopes. You know, we all get so many boring bits of mail these days, you know, bills. I had one the other day come through the door for an over 70s life plan, which I thought was great targeted marketing. All of this stuff that comes through, and you know, to receive a handmade card and then to have the envelope all decorated nicely as well, I think just really brightens someone's day. So that is all of our stamping done. It's time to move on to our DSP strips. So like I said, I have my 5 strips here, and I've just picked random pieces of the DSP and different patterns that sort of spoke to me today. And I have noticed that a couple of these are not quite at the right length, so I'm just going to trim those down very quickly. So like I said, these are 10.5 centimetres by 2. So you can definitely get a lot of these cards out of your pack of DSP. I think I've made 4 or 5 of these cards so far, so this would be my 6th. And these were 12 by 12 sheets, and this is all I've taken off them, so you know, there's still a lot of DSP left on there. Okay, now that I have fixed the fact that these were not all the right length, let us get them glued down. So I'm going to use some stamping seal for this. We're doing this nice and simply. And basically all I want to do is loosely arrange these across the front of my card. So you know, different heights, different angles. This is meant to be quite a fun, simple card, so there's no hard or fast rules here, just however looks good to you. So all I'm going to do is just run a little bit of seal down the back of my piece of DSP. I'm going to pop my first piece on. So, like I said, at a bit of an angle, absolutely play with this, make it a bit of fun. You want to be able to see the DSP and we're going to pop the sentiment over the top, but it shouldn't cover the entire thing, so you should still see all of the DSP underneath. So let's overlap that one to there. I'm not even using liquid glue today. I don't mind about wiggling it into place. It is literally just meant to be all a little bit crooked and at different lengths. Just like that. There we go. So is our DSP adhered to the base. I'm going to add a little bit of ribbon to our sentiment piece, and the ribbon that I've picked here is from the Playful Pets ribbon combo. So this is in your annual catalogue. It comes with a black and white twisted baker's twine as well as a 2-pack, and I really love this one. So it's a bright real red ribbon with this white sort of stitching that goes right through the middle on both sides of the ribbon, and it's nice and thin, so it works really well for this. And all I'm going to do is tie quite a large bow around the bottom of my sentiment piece. So I'm not looking for a particularly tiny bow this time around. I want there to be some nice hanging tails from our bow to really show off that lovely ribbon. And you can always move this, so if it's easier for you to tie it right in the centre and then slide it into place, absolutely do that. So just a nice quick bow on the front of here. Like so, I want the sort of tails from the bow to be fairly long. Give a bit of drama on the front. Grab my ribbon scissors and I shall give that a snip. And I always like to cut my ribbon at an angle. It just helps to stop the ends fraying quite so much. Okay, so shimmy that into place. Obviously manipulate your bow until you're happy with how it looks. You can always try wiggling it so that it sits a little flatter as well. Okay, I'm going to pop my sentiment piece on with dimensionals just so that also helps to keep the ribbon in place. I'm going to use some mini dimensionals. I think these are left over from one of the card kits that I've put together recently, but they work just as well. They are the same as our regular mini dimensionals. So just pop a couple of these over the back. Let's do one in the middle just to support it. So what I've done here is made sure that the channel where the ribbon is sitting is covered at both sides. That just helps stop the ribbon sliding off the bottom of your sentiment piece. Just pop the backs off your dimensionals. It's one of those things that I find everywhere, dimensional backs. Doesn't matter how far away from the craft room I am. I've even found some at work sometimes, so I must take them in on my shoe or something. Okay, line this up. So we want it to be centered side to side, but you can choose if you want it to be centered top to bottom or more towards the top. Again, this is your Christmas card, however you feel it looks best. I'm going to pop in my inner mat. I'm just going to do this again with stamping seal. Let's keep this nice and simple today. That is the name of the game on a Saturday. We want nice simple stamping projects. And definitely this is a card that you could repeat, and make a good batch of. If you had all of your pieces cut and ready to go. The actual assembly is really quite quick. And you could certainly knock out quite a few Christmas cards and have a good stack ready to send. Okay, line this up then. So obviously since we're using seal, we don't have that wiggle time with the liquid glue, so just pay a little bit more attention this time. Make sure you've got it straight before you lay that down. And then the last thing I'm going to add to this is some of these gold glitter enamel dots. These are really gorgeous. I've enjoyed using these so far. So they're literally just clear enamel dots that have some gold and sort of holographic glitter encased within them. So I'm going to pop a couple of these over the front of my project, and I'm going to use my Take a Pick tool for this. It's the best thing for helping to pick up small adhesive backed embellishments like this. So I'm going to add 5 today. Normally I do 3, but this is a bigger card and I want these to have a little bit more impact. So I'm just going to arrange 5 of these across the front of my card, and I'm using an assortment of the different sizes of the dots that are available here. Okay, a couple more. Let's go for a slightly bigger one. There we go. I'm going to put the last one just down there. And that is our finished card. As always, a nice simple Saturday project today. So our finished card, maybe Christmas perhaps means a little bit more, showing off that gorgeous Heartwarming Hugs DSP and with those beautiful little gold glitter dots over the top. Now obviously there are a lot of other sentiments in this stamp set, so I have made a couple of extras of this project as well. So we have here, every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings. And with this one I've coloured the little bells. I did this one in Daffodil Delight, the light blend for that one. And I added then some Wink of Stella over the bells, which I hope you can just about see there, just to give them a little bit of extra shine. We also have Buddy's line, the best way to spread Christmas cheer is singing loud for all to hear. And then the final one is I Believe, it's silly but I believe, and I've done that one as a landscape card instead. So I hope you have enjoyed this simple Saturday project today. If you have enjoyed the video, please do consider giving this video a like, give it a thumbs up, let me know you've watched it, and consider subscribing to the channel. I post 2 videos every week with project tutorials and tips and tricks. If you have any questions or comments about this project or anything to do with Stampin' Up, pop them into the comments box below and I'd be happy to help out. All of the products that I've used today are available on my Stampin' Up store, and I shall pop a link to that in the description box for you in case you're interested in purchasing any of these products and giving this project a go. If you are based in the UK and don't currently have a Stampin' Up demonstrator, I would be happy to post a copy of our physical catalogues out to you. Again, there'll be a link in the description box for you to my website where you can request that, and I'll get those straight out into the post to you. Thank you again for joining me in my craft room today, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye!